Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, the channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Fam, one of the reasons why I didn't sell this collection, one, there were too many drawbacks with the person trying to buy it. But the second reason and the biggest reason is because of you all. A lot of you all join the channel, subscribe to the channel because of the toys. And, without the toys, it's not the same type of channel. It's not the same type of energy. And, I remember when I first started when I was a kid collecting, man. It wasn't collecting, it was just my parents buying me toys. When I get into my 20s, that's when it started, becoming collecting far as first it was like toys, then video games, then, some of everything, man, shoes. And I look at it just like this, man. This hobby is a thing of beauty, man. And it's a thing of destruction, man. You love, collecting, but sometimes you don't love, what collecting brings out of you. It brings out competition. It brings out, pettiness. It brings out the ability to, try to one up people, man. And, that's what happens sometimes, man. I find myself trying to one up people. I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like, oh man, he went and got that. I'm gonna go get this. And I'm like, dude, you really don't even want that. You don't even really like stuff like that. And I really don't. And I'm just sitting here thinking, man, do what you do, and do what you do that's best, man. Stop worrying about what other people trying to do and what other people bringing to the table, man. Worry about what you doing. Worry about what you got. Worry about how you're doing what you're doing, man. At the end of the day, man, collecting builds character, bro. It builds patience. It builds um It builds your ability or your ability to want to have money to in order to buy this stuff. I hear a lot of people talking about stealing toys and stuff. You go into Ross and, Target, and DD's discount, and you see even Ollie's, you see empty boxes on the shelves, man. And, I distance myself from that because I don't want to be near that type of stuff because, see, when people see empty boxes, they looking at you like, even though you just walked in the door, it's a whole bunch of empty boxes in front of the door, and you just walked in. You like, man, come on, man. So I distance myself. I back myself up. I start looking at what I want to collect, what I don't want to collect, man. Again, this channel is about collecting, bro. At the end of the day, I may venture off on other topics because all of this stuff has something to do with collecting. Even though I hear people say, man, what the hell does the state of the economy and everything else got to do with collecting? If you no longer have a job, you're not going to be collecting no more. If all your bills go up, you may not have disposable income anymore to buy toys. And, that's just a given, man. That's just something that you stop and look at and think about. And, you basically say, hey, look, I'm trying to understand what's really going on. And understanding is half the battle, man, because a lot of times people don't understand the bigger picture that's involved in all of this. Collecting is a good thing, yes, but, knowing what you're collecting is even a better picture, bro. Sometimes I collect stuff and be like, why am I collecting that? I have to go back and relook at stuff and be like, man, if I'm going to get rid of some stuff, I may get rid of this piece, that piece, because these pieces don't speak to me. I don't mean like they're talking to me. They don't do much for my collection, man. I like to have stuff, man, and I like to be a part of stuff. You know, it's going to come to a time where you don't see me with a background that don't got toys in it. I might be somewhere else for a minute, but, again, I'm still a collector, bro. And like I said, those times are far and in between. And, like I said, we work on this stuff and we go from this stuff, man. And we do everything that we're supposed to do. Toys is a big thing, bro. But one thing about toys, they become overwhelming at times. And sometimes you back up because you like, damn, there's so much stuff out there now. I don't know if I want to go broke buying toys because you can actually go broke buying this shit, bro. At one point, man, I was buying so much of shit that I was just like, man, like, where's my money going? And I started looking. I said, yeah, this the damn toys. My wife said, stop doing eBay. She said, get that up for a while. Gave it up, and I started realizing, oh, that's where all my money went. Oh, that's how I got money now. I stopped just buying shit. Bro, look, that impulse buy, you got to be careful with all that, man. You got to be careful with every damn thing that you're doing. See, people don't get that. They don't understand what makes you you and what makes the thing that's you, you. Dude, I sit here sometimes and I try to understand for the life of me, why do I do everything that I do? And I can tell you, bro, it's because I want to be better than I was in the beginning, bro. Sometimes you make money, and that money you making, you got to understand why you making it. See, people don't understand with all these toys, bro. There's come a time when you may not even want to be bothered with the damn toys. It comes a time when you out there working your ass off when you don't even have time to sit with your hobbies. I remember it was an all video game room. And, I didn't get a chance to play the games that much. My then wife was saying, man, you get all this stuff and you're not able to play it. I said, that's a bummer, that was the end of that. But this time I try to spend time in a room, talk to you in the room, do videos in the room. And that's my thing. A lot of people ask, is this a toy channel? Yes, it still is a toy channel. But again, everything has something to do with something, bro. If all I did was talk about toys, you would get tired after a while. And I'm serious. Why you think a lot of people stop watching a lot of other channels? Because that's all they're hearing. And you like all this shit going on and this is all we talking about? This is why I try my best to understand what's what and what we need to do, bro. Just keep in mind, we still doing what we doing. We almost there. Man, my goal here on this channel, man, is to keep growing. To keep talking to you all, man. And just sitting back. And that's crazy as hell. Man, but till later, peace out.